So we're getting ready to do the Polybase98 base coat. Polybase98 is a 2-to-1 product, base coat only, okay? Pigmented product, so great base coat, primarily used in flake systems, or if you want to put a color coat down and then another color coat on top of it, it's a great base coat / primer. Anyway, we got a mixing station set up. We're going to show you how to mix this product, some tips about how much to mix at a time and things like that. It comes in 3-gallon kits. It is clear. You add a pigment to it. 1 quart pigment will pigment all of 3 gallons. What we're going to show you is you really don't want to mix up 3 gallons at a time unless you have a little bit bigger of a floor, and I'm talking, 1,000 square feet plus, and you've got 3 guys or so, or workers, and you can hammer out a lot because the product sets up quick. That's what it's meant to do. Easy to work with if you know what you're doing and you got your timing down. We've got people that use it every single day. We do have summer blend and winter blend. So if it's summertime, that'll extend your work life for you. In the wintertime, our winter blend, it'll actually help it kick over. So one thing Toby did that I think is very important, that's the A side. Yeah. He gives it a pretty good shake, and he did this earlier, so we won't do it too long. So you want to make sure things, the resin side and the hardener side, give them a little bit of a stir, both the A and the B, if any settling occurs. I think it's a good thing to do. So 3-gallon kit. I think one thing that we should tell you is the easiest way to install the product is what we call dip and roll. It's obviously a small roller cover, all of that. We're doing a small area. 18-inch roller cover, 3/8-inch nap is typical. That's obviously a 9. Dip and roll out of an 18-inch paint tray and just paint it like you're painting a doghouse. Get her down and then get your flake into it, fairly quick thereafter. I mean, 15, 20 minutes or so. It all depends on temperature. We suggest to mix up 3 quarts at a time, and Toby, will we kind of spin those around?
Yeah.
Here's an easy way to do it. These are all quart containers that he has. We labeled 2 of them A and 1 of them B. So all you would do in that case is pour 2 A's out and then 1 B, and just fill them all the way up. So you boom, boom, and then you fill up the one with B, and then you pour it in a bigger bucket, and then you add your pigment, and then you mix it. That's going to give you 3/4 of a gallon, okay? This product typically goes down at about 250 to 300 square feet per gallon. So that's going to get you, a couple hundred square feet right there out of an 18-inch paint tray. And then when you ready for another one, just add 2A and 1B, dump and go. And just keep doing that. That's a great size or amount of product to use at a time. For the purposes of this, we're using a very small amount to do a little 4x4 area. So Toby's just going to do off this quart container, and he's already got it measured out. So again, 2A to 1B, he's doing 16 ounces of A, which means you only need 8 ounces of B. As you can see, he's got there's the mark at 16. And then he's pouring up to 24. So you're going to have 16 ounces of A and 8 ounces of B. And that's how he's going to do it. Make sure you mix it really well. We always recommend, a couple minutes. And make sure that you spin your mixer around in the container. You're going up and down and side to side. Don't undermix products. That's probably the thing we see the most. If there ever is an issue, it's people just didn't mix good enough or long enough, that sort of thing. The other thing I would tell you, is there a data? Did you grab the data sheet?
Oh, right.
Oh, perfect. Laying right there, right where it should. These are on the website. Always have a data sheet laying around. It will tell you your mix ratios, your coverage rates, which you see there. Tack-free time, pot lifetime, 5 to 15 minutes. So after you get this mixed up, 5 to 15 minutes. That's going to vary with temperature and the product you have. Like our summer blend right now, it's summertime and it's about 75 degrees. You can have a lot of time with that. So anyway, go ahead and mix that up, Toby. He's going to mix up a small batch, and we're going to spread it out for you. So he's pouring in some of the A side. You see it going in. One little tip. You see how the spout is on the top end there. It usually, I don't know the correct term, glugs. It glugs less when you do that. Just a little tip to pour it out. Try to be pretty exact when you're doing this. I mean, it's like anything else. I mean, you want to get it, you want to be pretty particular about your ratios. I wouldn't be more than like 5 to 10% off. I mean, be as exact as you can. While he's doing that, I'm going to show you a few things. This has already been prepped with a grinder. It was actually prepped with this little 9-inch grinder. It's a single-headed grinder. It takes various diamonds. These were what we call metal bond diamonds. This is a 25 grit, and this is a 30 grit, just a little bit different pattern. And what it will do is create a good profile for your floor. You can see that scratch pattern in there? So that helps it bond to the floor. You know, with a good scratch pattern. You cannot get the proper profile to coat with this product by using muriatic acid or even our satellite pads. You want to grind or bead blast. The other thing I'll tell you, if I'm going to be picky, which, you know, is good to do, if you look at, you know, the prep, that's perfect. It's what we call a complete whiteout. My eye is always drawn to dark spots, and I can see like that spot wouldn't ground good enough. I mean, it just wouldn't hit good enough. You can see a couple here. We're going to go ahead and coat it. This is a little mock-up area we're playing with. But I would go back and hit those things. You know, that could be glue or contaminant or a sealer or something like that. And or you just didn't get enough profile. You know, like right here. I mean, it looked like it got ground a little bit, but it's not the complete whiteout. So look for those things. If you see a dark spot, go ahead and look at it and go, hey, what's that? Is that old sealer or what was on there? So that's what you're going for, is the whiteout, the profile, and bone dry too. The other thing that we see people do is they'll grind, and then you want to vacuum the floor, blow it, microfiber it, keep it dry. Do not add water. These products hate water. It's the enemy of this product. If you do add water to your floor for whatever reason, I would wait 2 days before I coated it, and don't let anybody walk on it. That's the other thing too. If you do grind it, don't grind it and then 2 weeks later go, okay, we're going to coat it. I would say regrind it again. You've kind of contaminated it because people have walked on it and things like that. You want to grind it, clean it, coat it. Don't let it hang out for a while and let people walk on it and then coat it a week or two later. So Toby's about got this mixed up. He's going to mix a little bit more. When we're ready, we'll get back with you. So we're ready to coat now. Again, if you're doing this on a floor, we more than highly recommend an 18-inch roller cover, 18-inch tray, you know, and dip and roll out of that. A lot of times, a lot of people want spike shoes. You don't need them for the base coat because you're starting at the back and you're working your way out and you're, you know, for lack of a better term, painting an area and then broadcasting flake into it kind of as you go. So, you know, this, you just, like you say, you're painting a doghouse. Just get it down, you know, try to get it pretty even and don't think about it too much. It's a very easy product to apply. The other thing we'll tell you too that you can't see from this video, but it has very little odor to it. So a lot of products out there have a big odor. This one doesn't have that big of an odor. Our contractors love it because high adhesion. It actually has high flexibility. It's a polyurea-based product, same family as truck bed liner. So it has flexibility. If there's any floor movement or anything, it's going to flex with it. So people like it for that. And the other reason people like it is you get done with this, you're going to go maybe have lunch or something like that. And typically it's ready to coat, especially in the summertime. A couple hours later, you're scraping and clear coating. That's why it's part of our 1-day flake system. So he's going to finish this real quick, and then we'll throw flake on it. You don't have to double roll, by the way. He's just kind of doing it to even it out.
I had some drops here from my last roll.
Oh, there you go. Is that why you're hitting it?
Yeah, that actually was why.
Sometimes it's harder to do a mock-up than a big floor. And that's why 18-inch rollers are nice, too, to be honest with you. I'm not a fan of 9s, to be honest with you. For anything bigger than this, I want an 18-inch roller cover. And it puts the product down much more evenly. So now he's going to broadcast flake. And one thing I want you to watch is how he's broadcasting it. It's a high throw, and you're letting it snow, you know. And what that does when you're doing a high throw and letting it snow, it kind of just makes sure it's going down evenly instead of having a big glob here, a big glob there. And also when you do it, you want to broadcast it to rejection. And in the middle, we've already got close to rejection or about there. Now on the edges, you can see that's not quite rejection, you know. So you wanna broadcast it to where when you're looking around at the floor, you don't see any shiny spots.
Shiny spots.
Oh, shiny spots. You can kind of see them. So it's not to rejection yet. No shiny spots here. Okay. Fairly simple to do, and actually a lot of fun. This, I think, one of the funner parts of a flake floor is broadcasting your flake. This, again, you know, always test when you're done. You know, a couple hours later, you can kind of get in there and squish it around with your finger. Now, remember, you can't get aggressive with it to put on the clear coat, but what you'll want to do after it's dry, could be another video, but just to finish it, you scrape it and then vacuum the flake. And then you put our Poly 90 clear coat on. By the way, Poly 90 clear coat, a little bit different application. You pour it on the floor, flat squeegee, 3/8 inch nap back roll. So, hope this helped you about Polybase98. It's a great base coat product that we've had a lot of success with, and our customers just love, and they've had success with it many times over.